did the last mass registration exercise in 2020, and many people have turned 18. Even in 2020, some people turned 18. They didn't get the chance to register. In 2021, similarly, others have turned 18. And 2022, you still have many people who have turned 18. Apart from that, there were people who were fully qualified to register in 2020, and they did not also register. So the Commission has taken the decision that let's have a CI which focuses on continuous registration, which will ensure that registration is done continuously in all the district offices of the Commission. Beyond that, in a meeting with the political parties and the civil society organizations that attend the IPAC meetings, the decision was taken that the Ghana card should now be the main requirement for one to qualify to register as a voter. In other words, once you have the Ghana card and you show up in any of our district offices, then your name will be registered and put on the roll of voters. And what it also means is that the fact that you have the Ghana card doesn't mean that your registration cannot be challenged, because so you can produce the Ghana card and based on our procedure, somebody can say you are not a resident of a particular electoral area or a resident of a particular constituency in that manner. So unlike previously where we allow people to vouch for or to guarantee for others who didn't have the various identification cards, this time what the Commission is saying, and based on the CI we have introduced in Parliament, which we are working on, is that once you have the Ghana card, you come. And this registration is targeting again those who have not registered, only new people to be added onto the roll of voters. Thank you.
Doc, typically that is catered for through, historically, through the limited voter registration exercise, where you typically carry your machines to various polling stations across the country. You set up for a period of time, and people who want to be registered onto the roll come and then get registered. Why are you convinced that the continuous voter registration process is perhaps a much better route to take than this limited exercise?
Okay, I think, there have been several reforms at the Commission, especially following every major election. And this started in 2016. So since the 2016 elections, the Commission adopted a continuous registration model. The idea is that you don't want to wait. It should be very seamless. Once someone turns 18, the person should be able to go to the registration center to register and be a voter. So that's the main idea, so that we don't wait till, let's say, a week or let me say 2 months, 3 months to the elections. Then people will be scrambling to the polling station or to the electoral area to go and register. The main idea again is that let's create that platform so that as soon as our kids, our brothers, our sisters turn 18, they can just go to the registration office seamlessly and they go and register. So that's the main idea. So that when it's about election, we don't wait. So maybe next year we have this assembly election somewhere, September, October, November, thereabout. We don't want to get to June or let's say May, then we are saying we've announced the registration, that people are going to form queues in that manner. We want to make sure that thing is cured. So the Commissioner said we will only do that type of registration, which is called a limited registration, unless maybe there is clear evidence that some people have not been able to register during the continuous registration exercise.
Is that to say since 2020 election you have been doing a continuous registration exercise?
Are you referring to 2022?
I'm saying that since the 2020 elections concluded, have you been doing a continuous registration exercise?
That's what we are starting, and we've been working with the political party on that.
Oh, so you are now putting the legal framework in place to start that.
In terms of the legal framework for continuous registration, it has always been in our books. It was in the current CI, which we are yet to repeal. The continuous registration is in there. But it's only the focus of the document or the law has not been so much on the continuous. But now we are refocusing it to speak more about the continuous registration exercise. So but it has always been part of the EC since, let me say, 2017.
So under this new arrangement, if my name is not in the register, no matter where I am, I have to find the district office, go there with a Ghana card and register.
So what we are saying, if the CI is is laid and everything goes very well. What we are saying is, let's say you want to vote. Let me put it, Cape Coast North. So what that means is that when the time comes for the when the registration begins, your job is to go to Cape Coast North. When you go to Cape Coast North, we have one district for Cape Coast North and Cape Coast South, which is in Cape Coast. So when you go there and you tell them that based on where you are a resident of, you are supposed to vote in Cape Coast North, the district office will tell you, okay, since you want to vote in Cape Coast North, where exactly in Cape Coast North you stay? And they will identify the polling stations close to where you are or the particular electoral area. And your name will be added to the voters in that particular polling station, in that particular constituency. So we have all the information, so it's supposed to be very, very simple.
So perhaps you've mentioned one example. For example, I come from Sugakope. I grew up there. I schooled there and everything. There's, of course, definitely the district office is in Sugakope.
Yes.
There's a place around there, for example, a place like Tajevu, where somebody has to move a certain distance from there all the way to the district office. Ideally, under the limited voter registration exercise, they would not have had to bear the cost of transporting themselves all the way from there to come to an office in Sugakope in order to register. Did you consider all this, the cost to the voter, before making this decision that the continuous registration exercise will have to happen at one destination that people may not be able to afford transportation to get to?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the same CI also stresses that in instances where people are living very, very far away from the district office, the commission will make arrangements for some registration to take place in the electoral area where they reside. I know Sugakope is supposed to be South Tom. I know that enclave, and I know there are some places that are very, very far. So what we will do is that for those places, and it's not only Sugakope, they are scattered in almost all the regions of our country. The same CI stresses that in instances where the people are too far away from the district office, what will happen is that the electoral area, some of the electoral areas in those districts or constituencies, there will be some registration taking place over there. So clearly, everybody will be met as far as this exercise is concerned.
So who does the assessment as to... I wanted to find out who makes that decision.
Well, where the CI says that the EC will make that decision, and the EC has district officers in all the districts. So what that means is that based on the information from our district officers, I know when you go there, north to south to all these, we have our men on the ground. So when it happens and we receive that report, we'll make that arrangement for them.
And then, Doc, on the matter of the Ghana card, why the choice of only Ghana card? Why not passports? Why not the guarantor system? Why have you decided that Ghana card should be the only way to go?
After the 2020 elections, we had some series of meetings with civil society, media, political parties. And in these meetings, all of them stressed that we've made a lot of progress as a country. And moving forward, we need to work to strengthen the integrity of our process. And in strengthening the integrity of our process, all the various groups profess that they believe that the Ghana card will be a good way to go. You know, before the 2020 elections, we didn't have many people who had registered for the Ghana card. But as we speak now, I know those who have registered should be about 70 million or even slightly more. So based on the discussion with the parties, the civil society, the media, the commission came to that conclusion. And apart from that, we've been having several IPAC meetings. I know I can even count of about 4 or 5 IPAC meetings that were discussing the identification requirements. And the parties concluded that they thought the Ghana card would be the way to go. And even beyond that, the guarantor system is something which is fraught with a lot of irregularities a lot of challenges. You know, we are all Ghanaians. We understand. You go to some of our communities, people who are 14 years, 15 years, you have people who are vouching for them that, oh, this is my niece, this is my nephew. I know the person is 18 years. When in reality, we are Ghanaian. When we see somebody who is 18, we are able to confirm, although we may not get it 100%. But you go to certain communities, clearly you see people who are minors, people are vouching for them. Then it will go through a challenge process. A committee will sit on it, and some of them even will end up at the doorstep of a magistrate, a high court judge, several things. So what the commission is basically saying is that, and the party, we have a system in place which is supposed to screen people. You go there and you tell them you are a Ghanaian, they will give you the card. And once you are given the card, your age and everything will be reflected on the card. So what we are saying is that instead of the Electoral Commission taking the primary data from the voter, there's an institution in place that has clearly made some impact in our body politics. Let's allow people to go there and get it. And once you get it and you come to us, it doesn't suggest that your registration cannot be challenged. But what it means is that some of the hurdles associated with the guarantor system they may end up becoming a thing of the past. And as I said, we want to enhance the integrity of our system, and we believe if we do that, that will be better.
But the guarantor system, the issues you identified, you also spoke about a solution, because I realized you talk about the whole adjudication system. Are you looking for an easy way out? Because there's a process that's supposed to deal with that, is it not?
You know, we work the system, we work with it. And to be very frank with you, these are problems that are scattered in almost every constituency of our country. And you know, most people cannot be brutally honest. So what we are saying is that we are not saying the guarantor system is just bad, but we are saying there is a system which will make it better, which will enhance the integrity of the process. And I know you are a media actor. You are interested in us having a system that is very, very robust, that will ensure that only the right people are put on the roll. And that's exactly what the commission is doing. And I said we had meetings with the political parties, civil society at IPAC. Normally during IPAC meetings, civil society groups have observer status. But for the discussion of the Ghana card as identification, all of us were on board discussing, looking at ways and means to ensure that we enhance the honesty and the integrity embedded in our system. And even beyond that, the political parties themselves, if you ask them, the guarantor system is a source of challenge. And what we are saying is that because the Ghana card can be acquired at the age of 15, people should be encouraged to get it, so that when the registration begins, it's not a question of you are now saying, no, I don't have the Ghana card, but you already have it, then you go to the registration center and acquire it. So basically, that's what we are doing.
But Doc, I keep hearing you mentioning the political parties, stakeholders. But your key stakeholder is the average person who has perhaps is qualified to vote, who you're supposed to provide an opportunity for them to register, which is the average Ghanaian voter. Throughout all this, to what extent did you consider their needs and perhaps the special circumstances they may find themselves in? Because there's somebody in a village who doesn't have one card, doesn't have anything.
So what we are basically, that's why, you know, the registration hasn't started. So what we are saying is that let's encourage people to go out there and get it. And don't forget that this registration is not for all Ghanaians. When we begin, it's not for all Ghanaians. I believe you are a registered voter, so you are not passed. I am a registered voter, I'm not passed. We are only targeting the 400,000 or so Ghanaians who turn 18 years every year. And the process has not even begun. And when you ask those who are officers who are monitoring the registration of the Ghana card, they may tell you that on average, the Ghana card is registering between 20 to 30 people in each of the districts where they are operating. So clearly, when you put those numbers together, then it means Ghanaians are getting the card. So I know you are a media person. You can send your reporters to the various places to find out. So the commission is working based on the evidence that the Ghana card has the capacity to issue, and they are issuing the cards to people. People are registering for it. So, and now we know our next election is more than a year. away. The next major elections is even almost 2 years, 6 months away or so. So we believe that if we put that system in place and people are encouraged to get the card, it will enhance the integrity of our process.
Why not the passport?
No, when we had the meetings, all the passport came up, the driver license, and I believe there was another identification which also came up. But the meeting agreed that they thought the Ghana card would be the best, because when you look at acquiring the passport, usually people are supposed to pay some money before they can acquire the passport. But the Ghana card is supposed to be given to you by virtue of the fact that you are a Ghanaian. So people should be encouraged. And the issue has to do with the fact that it's not like we are registering within a particular window. It's going to be a continuous process. And as we speak now, we've not even started. We'll probably be starting somewhere in November. So once people are encouraged, anyone who doesn't have, and if even you have, we understand there's a process. If the card is missing, to get the card back, for the card to replace. So we think that when we do that, everything will be well.
Look, passports. The passport is in. For example, I have a passport.
Mm-hmm.
It's already in my hand.
But you don't have a Ghana card.
Well, I do have a Ghana card,
yes,
but I have a passport too.
Okay.
There's somebody who has a passport, does not have a Ghana card.
Okay.
Do you have issues with the integrity of the Ghana passport?
Why we didn't say there's a problem with the passport. We haven't said that. But what we are saying is that the Commission had several engagements with civil society, with political parties that attend the IPAC meetings, and the conclusion was that although the passport should be considered a very legitimate, very acceptable, reputable document, they thought that for unanimity, for everything to be in conformity, let's use the Ghana card. So that's what we are doing. And I think you bear with me that there are more people who have the Ghana card than the passport. And it's very likely most of the people who have the passport, maybe about 80-90% of the people who have the passport, they are likely also to have the Ghana card. So it's not a question of we were looking at the card that will be readily available. That many people, most all the people can easily have it. So that's the conclusion.
Is that not based on assumptions that may not be true? Because I had friends who flew into this country, they have a passport, they are tempted to do the Ghana card, were not able to do it. If that friend comes back to Ghana today and says, I would like to register to vote using a passport, you are saying that person is not allowed to register because they don't hold the Ghana card, which they may still not be able to acquire.
You know, I made the point that this registration is what we call continuous. The continuous basically means that the process is ongoing. So when we start, God willing, when we start in November, it's going to continue till the next election. Then we take a break after the election, then we continue again. So anyone who flies into the country and says, I want to register, it's not a problem. Your job is to work and get the card. Anytime you get the card, go to our office. Unless you are saying that it's impossible for them to get the card.
And I'm telling you, Doc, there are people who walk into this country, spend weeks, and they were not able to still get those cards. Because it depends on your schedule. It depends on, and you know that when even myself, sometimes if I plan to get a passport, it could take days. Or if I plan to get the Ghana card before I find time to be able to go there and register. It depends on your schedule. Look, so if you already have a document that you do not have a problem with, I understand your conversation with civil society and political parties, but they do not represent the average Ghanaian. Were you thinking about the Ghanaian in making some of these decisions? Because it looks like it's only the political parties, civil society, who may not necessarily speak the language of the Ghanaian.
No, I think we took them into consideration, because I think maybe as a media man, this concern should be directed to the Ghana Card Authority, the National Identification Authority, to find out whether indeed they have put measures in place to be able to ensure that somebody who flies into the country, there are ways and means for the person to acquire the card within a certain window frame. But let me also say that really what we are doing is that we have engaged the Ghana Card Authority, the National Identification Authority, and we've also engaged other partners, as I mentioned to you. And what the report coming to us is that capacity to do it is there. So we can also engage them to find out, okay, under what circumstance should somebody, if the person is not even in the country and the person is coming, book the appointment and have it in particular within a particular day or within certain days in that manner. So I think those conversations can be had. But what we are saying is that these are things we need to ensure for the advancement of our democracy, for the integrity of our process, so that all parties will be sure that anyone on our roll, we've been using the guarantor system for over 30 years, and the parties, the players, all of us recognize that there are certain minor challenges that must be cured, and that's what we are doing. And I believe the conversation about the acquisition of the card, we can engage them to find out what measures they are putting in place to ensure that the processes are expedited in that manner. So those things can be done.
Doc, I wanted to go to the issue of a Ghana card. How many people do you have in your voters roll currently?
We have 17,027,000.
When you check from Ghana card, how many people did the NIA say?
The last time we engaged them, they gave us 16.9 million, and this was about a month ago. So I believe by now they should be a little over 17 million.
So as at the time we're engaging them, you had more people on your register
on the voters register
than the NIA has.
Yes.
Yes, the NIA is supposed to register people from 15 years and above. The people on the register is 18 years and above. Didn't that raise an alarm with you?
You know, I think what maybe people, what we are doing is that the continuous means that the activity is ongoing. And you know, I mentioned to you that we are not targeting those who are on the current voters pool. We are only targeting those who have not had the chance to register. So when we start the registration, it's for those who have not had the chance to register. And those people are going to register on continuous basis. And what the continuous basis means is that anytime you acquire your card, so when we begin, those who already have it, we are going to register them. Those who don't have it, as you go through the process of acquisition, once you acquire it, then we may end up registering you. So that's what is going to happen.
Well, Doc, sorry I'm holding you on for a while, but you're a busy man. So when I get you, occasionally I have to raise some of the issues that have been coming up with regards to this.
And I know all of us want the integrity of our system to be enhanced. So when we do that, it helps all of us.
So is there also an agreement in place with the NIA people to ensure that perhaps if there'll be a window through which they register a bit more people to get cast, we still
have several engagements to have with them to be sure, and they've assured us that, you know, don't forget when we started in the March registration 2020, that time they had done a little around, I think about 6 million or so, and 2 years ago they've done they've added additional 10 million. So based on this particular assessment and the engagements we've had with them, the Commission is convinced that is the way to go. And as I mentioned, we want to enhance the honesty, the integrity of our system. And the political party, when it happens that way, the system is predictable. You are able to know. We don't want a situation where you go to some villages, some people are 13, 14, and people are desperately depending that, oh, these are people who are 80, and those are the things we think they are mischiefs in the system. We want to cure them.
Well, let me now go back to the IPAC at which you made this decision. You said political parties were there. One party that has indicated clearly that they were not at those meetings, and you have said it yourself in a couple of interviews, the National Democratic Congress.
The invitation was sent to all the parties. So if a party decided not to be there, are you going to blame those who were there and even the Electoral Commission? You can't blame them, because invitations for IPAC are sent to all the political parties. And once the political party is not there, and even IPAC is not a place for vote, we discuss, then the Commission will take a decision based on the discussion. So I don't think you can blame the EC that, oh, a particular party or some parties were not there. Maybe about 5 or 4 parties were not there, but we had about 12 regular parties who were always present, and we did that. And we saw only the political party, including civil society organizations and development partners.
You said IPAC is not a voting platform.
Yes.
You have a discussion, and then you take the decision. The Electoral Commission, you,
Yes.
I mean the Electoral Commission will take a
Yes.
decision. So what if the decision you take is not exactly the position of the political parties?
And I said, and I mentioned to you, this was something the parties and the EC discussed, and we came to an agreement on that. But the EC is the final person tasked by the Constitution to do this thing. So that's basically what I was implying.
Okay, because when you listen
but
to
the parties that attend, you can get the minutes from them, and you see the parties that attend, and you can even be asking them. I know the CPP, the PNC, the LPG, the PPP, all of them attended the GUM party, all of them have been attending them.
And they all agreed with this?
They all agreed. That's what I'm saying. You can have a copy of the minutes. They have. If you need some of them, I don't think I may readily have their contact, but they are there. It's a public information. So if you want to even write to the commission, the parties that attend IPAC, and a copy of the minutes, we'll make them available to you for you to see.
Is there a rift between you and the NDC?
There is nothing. There is no rift. There is nothing. We are, by the nature of our work, we can never have rift with any political party. I know the NDC very soon they will be having their constituency, regional, national, executive election, and they will invite us to come and organize for them, and we are fully ready to do that.
On the EC scale, does the NDC have the same weight as a party, for example, like the PPP?
On the EC scale?
Yes. How do you treat the political parties? Are they all the same in your eyes?
Equally and fairly.
All the same in your eyes.
And some of the activities we give more preference to the MPP and the NDC. For example, this continuous registration I mentioned, we have a committee set up, and the committee has one NDC rep, one MPP rep. All the smaller parties have 3.
Oh.
So at times, when we are setting up a committee to discuss something, we give MPP and NDC maybe about 60% weight. Then all the smaller, maybe at times even 75. Then I think this one, the parties have 5 members.
No, can you just say something that I think you need to clarify? Because you said there was a committee, the NDC was on the committee. Was it before the boycott?
No, the NDC was during the boycott, and we invited them, and they nominated somebody. I think Mr. Yaya is a member of the modalities committee of the continuous registration.
Even once they were not turning up at IPAC, they nominated somebody to be on the committee.
Yes, and they wrote a letter to that. We wrote to them to nominate, and they even nominated 2 people. Then we said we needed only 1. I think they nominated one Mr. Hudu Yaya and another Mr. Marty or so, but we said we needed only 1 person.
Were those people at the meetings of those committees that discussed
that committee is yet to meet.
Oh, the committee has not met yet on the continuous registration exercise.
But they submitted a name during the alleged boycott.
But you have already put in a CI. That makes it clear what qualifies somebody to register. A committee is now going to meet to do what?
You know, the continuous registration is, as I mentioned, is done at the district level. But the committee will now determine what time should it be done. Should it be done every day? Should it be done from what time to what time? So the parties have their agents there in that manner. So that one is also in the law that the EC and the political parties will meet to find the modalities.
Well, look, okay. So a big thank you to you.
Around. We can continue this conversation. I think all of us are interested in.
Sir. Oh, okay.
Development of our country.
Okay. There's one other issue that one of my colleagues want an update on. As we speak, the people of Santro Kofi Akpafo Lolobi Likpe do not have representation in Parliament. In fact, there are those who blame you, the Electoral Commission, directly. That it was your actions that led to them being denied representation in Parliament. What is happening to them as far as you're concerned?
Okay, let me say, anyone who blames the Electoral Commission, anyone who blames the Electoral Commission for why they didn't vote in the parliamentary election, then the person must tell the person to educate him or herself very well. This is what happened. In 2020, somewhere around November 10th, the Parliament of Ghana passed an LI, which created the South District. The LI was passed somewhere November 9th or November 10th. And and they wrote a letter to the Electoral Commission. We received that letter around 14th or 15th November that an LI creating the Star District has passed the Parliament. So when the time we received that notification, the Parliament has also gone on recess. And once the district is created, the EC must also come up with a CI to create a constituency. And to create a constituency, for you to lay the CI, you need the CI to be laid in Parliament for 21 working days. So look at around November 15th and having elections on December 7th and Parliament being on recess. So how would the EC prepare the constitutional instrument and have it debated at the subsidiary legislation level and have it laid in Parliament for 21 days before the December 7th election? So that's why I said the EC had nothing to do with it. So anyone who blames the EC just doesn't get it. The person doesn't understand. So that's what happened. And since the 2020 election, the EC has taken steps. Currently, we have a CI which has been presented to the AG's department to create that particular constituency. So I strongly believe that by the next election, that constituency would have been created, and the people are going to vote for their member of parliament.
They will vote for a member of parliament, but it has to be in the next election cycle, right?
No, as far as I know, that's what the Constitution says. So you need to check the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. It's not like I'm the authority saying that. It's in the law that when there is something like that, the people will vote in the next for the next parliament. So please, you can kindly get your lawyers to look at the Constitution and confirm.
Yes,
it's not like the EC has a position on it.
No. I was asking that because I just wanted clarity, because I know that they are supposed to go to the next electoral cycle. It doesn't resolve their current circumstances. On the issue of you saying November 10 and giving those dates, the process of establishing the new regions, I think, were completed 1 year, one clear year ahead of the 2020 elections, was it not?
When you take me to that discussion, that's not Electoral Commission's work. I said the LI that created, so it's the Parliament. So if you have an institution to blame, you engage the Parliament, they pass the LI. And when they pass the LI, November 9th, thereabout, we received notification, and when they passed the LI, they had gone on recess. So a district had been created, and you know that. So by December 2020, the SAL was a district, and you know a district cannot vote for a member of parliament in another district. Residents of that district couldn't have voted for the member of parliament for Buem or for Hohoi. And that time, Hohoi was voter region. Then Buem was Oti, and South to Oti region. So they couldn't have voted. So what the commission did was inconsistent with the law. So it was the right thing we did at the time.
Doc, I will thank you and leave it here. And thank you very much for speaking to us.
We can always engage for the education of our people.
Eric would always be in touch anytime something comes up and we need to speak to you.
All the best.
Yeah, all the best to you too, Doc. Thank you for speaking to us. Well, that is Dr. Bossman Asare. So clarity, SAL, they have to put together a new CI, creating, perhaps if it's a new constituency or they are putting them under another constituency for them to vote next year. They cannot have representation in parliament for this particular parliament. Yeah.
My producer, Eric, on va number pampas next week Wednesday. We are no. So, I got hold on for number pampas so we are no. Na you hu dey be few. Today ma I feel we are, I think say we will be 45 minutes.
No, you can't have 45 minutes. No.
In
fact, we have more time. In fact, we are done.